On the night of 24th August, which is next week, Kenya will conduct its 6th national population census. Unlike other African countries, Kenya has to be commended because every 10 years, without fail, without excuses, Kenya has conducted a national population census. Come rain, come shine, no money, economy in difficulties, it doesn't matter. Kenya has been consistent. And for that, we must commend the motherland. However, having said that, we must realize that a population census, or the number of people in a country, is extremely political, especially in Kenya. And sadly, since independence, political manipulation of the masses has been the most important factor in many exercises, including this population census. Shortly after President Daniel Toroitich Arap Moi came to power, those Kenyans who are old enough then will have noticed that the numbers of the Kalenjin community suddenly shot up. Or let me just rephrase that. The numbers of the community of the person who is president, as far as past censuses are concerned, have always been adjusted, or shall I say inflated. That has always been the perception. And I dare say that in most instances, this perception has had plenty of evidence on the ground to prove it. Now, for those who take in this channel and are not very familiar with what happens in Kenya, I need to answer the question, why would somebody need to inflate the numbers of their tribe for political reasons? After all, the winner of a presidential election is supposed to be votes from all tribes, not just your own. Simple answer. It has been for the purposes of manipulating election results. The business of pop. Now, if you want evidence that tribal numbers are highly sensitive to the government, let us go back to 2009 and what happened in the Northeastern Province, as it used to be called, or the Northern Frontier District in colonial times. Most of the inhabitants of this region of Kenya are of Somali origin. Raw data from that exercise showed that Kenyan Somalis were amongst the top 2 tribes in Kenya. Oh yes, you heard me right. So the government panicked. What? Hapana. Hiyo haiwezekani. Hapana. And what happened when those results were released to the public was that the numbers from that region, or the exercise in that region, was cancelled. Now, there's some Kenyans who are very naive about the Somali issue. Because I have very close friends, Kenyans, who are more Kenyan than most people, who are of Somali origin. They're in the trenches with me, fighting for a better Kenya. If I have an emergency, I will look for my Somali friends first. One Somali friend I have, who's based in the UK, was born in the Rift Valley. Indeed, he is more Kalenjin than Somali. And that is why, when I see comments on this channel sometimes, Wasomali wote warudi kwao, I get very offended. That is as nonsensical as saying that Luos should return to Sudan. How? All these people are Kenyans. Kenyans, damn. Now, don't get me wrong. It is of course also true that we have a problem, in the Northern Frontier District with the Somali community. And that problem is not their fault. The problem is historical. At independence, some people did not keep their promise. And instead of sitting down and sorting out the issue, they decided to use force, to force people into certain compartments. And we are paying for that mistake to this day. It would have been much easier to call people and say there's been a change of plan. Therefore, choose where you want to belong to. Negotiations here and there and things would have been much better today. That is why one of my chief mantras in this life and on this channel is always do something that will stand the test of time. If and when you don't, you can be guaranteed that you'll end up with egg on your face. It's that simple. Anyway, it is my hope and prayer, and I believe the hope and prayer of the vast majority of Kenyans, that this time round, the census results will be released as is, without any political adjustments. Now, here's something very interesting for you. It is the view of most Kenyans, that the largest tribe currently in Kenya is, wait for this one, the Luhya. Now, in the last census, they were placed second, with a total of 5,338,666 Luhyas. Now, if you're familiar with our brothers and sisters in Western Kenya, you will not doubt that. Hao watu ni wengi na wanaendelea kuzaana kwa wingi. Watu wa family planning hawajatoboa kwa Luhya. Now, if you're very observant and very keen, especially on the campaign program of the Deputy President William Samoei Ruto, you will notice that he has pitched camp in Western Kenya. He has distributed massive goodies in Western Kenya. I recently visited the Teso region, those are Luhyas, and I was shocked how people are talking. Those people are ndani kabisa of Deputy President William Samoei Ruto. They don't want to hear any other name for 2022. And that is the truth. And for a minute, I was a bit puzzled, why the Deputy President would spend so much time in Western Kenya. And then I remembered the strategy here is numbers, numbers, numbers. Now, having said that, this is a very risky and tricky strategy. Why? Because of all the communities in Kenya, the Luhya community are the most democratic by far. They have had no qualms about voting for other tribes. If we had another 5-6 communities in Kenya, major communities, that were like the Luhya, would have finished tribalism a long time ago. The Luhya don't care what tribe you are, if you're a politician. When you come to them, they listen to you. And if they like what they hear, they are with you. Maneno kwisha, it doesn't matter what tribe you are. And the record is there to prove this point. If you look at past elections, the community has voted for many other communities, solidly, in large numbers. I mean, of all regions in Kenya you'd visit, this is one region where you'd always receive a very warm welcome, even if you're a stranger. Karibu, karibu, karibu. Filanga at home. True story. They will speak their vernacular, but they'll politely translate for you. Where other communities in Kenya rudely speak their language to you, expecting you to understand. Oh, yes. So in the census results, when we finally receive them, when the whole exercise is over, keep a close eye on the number of Luhyas. I will, of course, also be keeping a very close eye on the El Molo. The El Molo are part of the Kalenjin community. And they're one of the smallest tribes. In the last census, they numbered at only 2,844. That's a very small number. Indeed, one single Luhya family calling for a family get-together would beat that number easily. Now, after saying all those many things, it is my very strong view and opinion that going forward, we should abolish counting Kenyans in tribes. Because of all the serious troubles we've had, it should be illegal for anybody to count members of a tribe in Kenya. Think about it. What purpose does it serve? Are there services only for one tribe? Is there a tribe that is supposed to be favored? Apart from using the tribal numbers to manipulate elections, there's no other purpose for counting Kenyans as far as the tribes are concerned. And apart from politicians using their tribal numbers to divide us and conquer us so that we vote for people who do not deserve and cannot qualify to be chairpersons of a cattle dip committee, let alone a constituency or even a ward. Tribe is the Kenyan politician's secret weapon. And we need, indeed we must, get rid of it as quickly as possible. We are all Kenyans, period. Now, some quick facts about the upcoming census before I go. Now, as I said, it will be held on the night of 24th August, which will be a Saturday, waking up to the morning of 25th August. But the whole exercise will be completed on 31st of August, last day of this month. I think this is a very important point to note, for every Kenyan to note. Indeed, for every residence, every person residing within the borders of Kenya to note. Because in case you're not counted on the night of 24th, don't panic. You should not even be concerned if 31st August has not arrived. Let this be the last census where Kenyans are asked the question, what tribe are you? Until next time, this is Chris Kumekucha.